Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Champions League is back, Europa League is back, and this week in the world of football was filled with controversies about AFCON, about captainship, all of those stuff. We are going to be breaking it down and delving into it in today's episode. Also talking about the big match at the weekend. People that are not going to win the title. Arsenal versus Manchester United in the next Premier League fixture. We are going to be breaking all of those down and giving our own thoughts on those games. Before we do, please press the like button, subscribe if you're new or yet to do so, and join us in this community of ROP, Run of Play podcast, where we discuss all things football, in particular the big teams in the EPL and Manchester United. I'm one of your co-hosts, Dr. Toves. Please welcome our other colleagues. Mr. Shonti, how are you feeling today?
Not very good. United just unceremoniously crashed out of the FA Cup, so no, I'm not feeling very good, but we're here.
All right, and my guy Johnny Boy, how are you feeling today, man?
Well, happy, even though I'm sad at the same time because Arsenal wasn't playing this weekend, but I was happy because defending champions in quotes are out, so that's good.
Fair enough. Before we get into all of this football talk, let's talk about some non-football related talk, right? I don't know if Shane, if you want to like key us into this AFCON debate between Jamie Carragher kind of scoffing at AFCON being a big tournament or stuff like that.
No, so the background for this is that I think on one of their weekly night shows, Jamie Carragher and Daniel Sturridge and Mike Richards were talking about Salah and what Salah needs to do, maybe what's missing from his catalogue for him to be considered the world best. And Jamie Carragher was implying, or like somebody mentioned the AFCON, and then Jamie Carragher kind of scoffed, basically implying that winning the AFCON is not enough, basically to push Salah over the edge. He claims that that's the point that he was making, that he was talking about the competition relative to things like the World Cup or Champions League that are usually used as the yardstick for determining the world best, but it was taken as I don't know, racist. Well, it was ways.
It was his body language, the way he scoffed when they're when they tell him, "Come, AFCON is big."
The way he dismissed it just outright.
Yeah. So I don't think they think it's racist, but it's just a lot of people in Europe in general just think that AFCON and the CONCACAF are not as good as Euros or Copa America. I think they value those two more than AFCON. They think they're not on the same level, which I kind of disagree. Right? What yardstick are they using to measure which one is bigger or not bigger? Because it's European.
Let's have the conversation now, right?
Yeah.
Let's interrogate the idea that European competitions are more important, are more relevant than the ones from AFCON.
Yes.
By any yardstick that you want to use, whether it's viewership, whether it's the financial award that comes from winning, the trophies, whether it's the prestige, even though prestige is a far less quantifiable metric than the first two that I just mentioned. But at least in terms of viewership and in terms of the financial revenue that it generates, expense that is incurred to set up these tournaments, European tournaments are far more important than the African ones. What do you guys say to that? To those two, objective seemingly metrics for judging the quality of the tournament?
No, I disagree that it is far more important. It depends on what part of the world you're looking at it from. Because if you're in Africa, not a lot of Africans are watching Euros. Same way, not a lot of Europeans are watching AFCON. So it is relative.
Wait, did you say not a lot of Africans are watching Euros?
Yes.
That's not true. Now we watch.
You're a football person. You're a football person, so naturally you're going to watch all the tournaments. So you watch Copa America as well, right? But a lot of Africans, my dad does not watch Euros. He doesn't care about Euros until the finals. but it's going to watch every
Yeah, I
AFCON
get
from
for the
day
passive
one
fan.
to the
Okay, yeah, I get
final,
your
whether
point.
Nigeria is there or not. Again, I say it depends on the part of the world that you're in. Now, in terms of funding, because more people tend to watch Euros, then you can say that. But the current AFCON final had more viewership than the Euros final. I saw that start somewhere. It might be a bogus start, maybe, but I saw that the AFCON final had
I saw it too.
more online viewership than the Euros final. So again, depends on the continent you're in. You can't just dismiss a tournament. Why is okay? Let's say Euros is bigger than AFCON. How is Copa America bigger than AFCON? But I don't think more people are watching Copa America than are watching AFCON.
No, so I can tell you how and why those competitions will be considered to be bigger. Like, but
Oh,
like
because of
Johnny Boy,
Messi.
still no. Well, I mean, yeah, I can rebut like both of those points, but I want to, I want Johnny Boy to jump in with his own 2 cents here.
So my own thinking about it is that the reason why they're looking at those competitions bigger than the AFCON is just simply the fact that Jimmy Carragher said it as well, that if you look at most of the guys that have won like world best or
Mm,
considered the greatest footballers, right? They're
mm.
either from Europe or South America. So already that plays in the mindset of people that okay, that means actually if the best players are coming from those continents, so obviously that means those competitions are actually the competitions of the best players because let's be
But
factual.
as
When we're
wait,
growing up, we
as
had lots
Mikel
of
Obi said, George Weah has Ballon d'Or,
yeah,
but
but like I'm saying, but
yeah.
you can literally count how many Africans have been great compared to South Americans and
No, I
Europeans, if
mean,
we are being honest.
Johnny Boy. So they won't accuse me of being one-sided now, right? Let me push and try and steel man the argument being made here. That's okay. You say the best players, when we grew up, those are the people that we watched. But
Growing up, yeah, yeah, mostly from Europe.
that's like programming, right? That's what we were being fed to see. That's the powers that be putting their thumb on the scale to tilt things in their direction, right? And now that like Africans, especially young Africans, have the clout, political clout, social clout to be able to draw attention to our own competitions. We can just by sheer willpower insist that these things are of equal merit and it will just be so. Why can't we? Why can't we just say the AFCON is as important and that's all that there needs to be about it?
To me, it's as important. I'm just saying that I guess I'm just trying to like support, or I'm not saying support, but like get the view of why they think that way. Because on my hand, more than my hand, I can count
Yeah.
like how many players, how many great players have come from South America and what do you call it, Europe. So technically, that to me just plays on the mindset that oh, you have to if the great players are coming from this continent, that means their competitions are the best. But which I don't buy that because you can see AFCON is really tough to win because first of all, you're not just fighting against like other teams, you're fighting against the weather. That's why if you notice most
Mm.
times AFCON is played in January. So and that you're fighting against the weather. So that's another this thing. But people don't. I
So,
think now the good thing about now is that there are more eyes on AFCON. Like the last AFCON, like Dr. Dove said, I think it was a record number of viewership because it was really interesting. And I just hope that's the level of standard the African. Because at the end of the day, right, one thing Europeans and South Americans have is packaging. That is, they have good
mm,
packaging, so they know how to follow their tournaments. Like Euros, for instance, now over here in Canada, like months ahead of the Euros, you see they start advertising. They even post it like they put it on like banners and stuff, even like bus stops, and so it's already in the
no,
mindset of people.
you're
That, oh,
making you're
Euros is
making a
coming over.
fantastic point. Yeah. You're making a
Yeah.
fantastic point, Johnny Boy, right? And
So
I want to
already
use that. I want to
that's in the
piggyback.
eye of the consumers.
I want to piggyback off that to address kind of like the Dr. Tove's initial remarks to my first 2 points, right?
Yeah.
That if we're talking about the marginal fan, right, like your dad or that extra person that wouldn't watch football if it wasn't AFCON,
Yeah.
that's like a fraction probably of a percentage point of the entire fan base that we're talking about, right? The simple truth is that like the people who we're talking about are the people who watch football. And people who watch football, right, who know anything about football or know like more enough to follow it more than a passive observer, those people are watching the Euros.
Yeah, but
Also
again,
because that's
it's
where
about it's Yeah, but then again, this is the another point again. This is about viewership. Like before now, like in UK, I don't think you can watch AFCON anywhere unless you log on to CAF online. But the recent AFCON, BBC were
Yeah.
showing it, ITV were showing, like you could see it on TV. So that's why the viewership also increased, right? So I just think it's
Yes.
about infrastructure. But I don't even think that anyone is arguing that Euros is bigger than AFCON. I just think it was the way he dismissed it. His body language of dismissing the AFCON that got
Right.
people
That's
riled up.
fair.
That what got Obi Mikel riled up or JJ Okocha riled up.
Yeah,
Like this
that's
guy
what
have
got a
not
lot
won
of people
anything.
talking. That's true.
Who are you to like scoff at a tournament when you didn't
Like
even
you're
win
not even
anything
one of
at
the
all?
greats. Like I mean,
Exactly.
No, no, but
Like
like,
you said, you're not one of the greats. So what the hell are
no,
you
but
talking about it?
those are all valid points, right? But I think they are just as valid, and that's, I guess, like my own argument is that those are all very valid points and legitimate points to make. But I think they're just as legitimate as Carragher's attitude because it's an attitude that I think many Africans also share. So when you talk about like, Joe talked about the investment that these other tournaments make in
Mm-hmm.
branding and marketing and stuff like that, all the funds that are earmarked for things like that in Nigeria and in Africa, that money is stolen and eaten by the administrators of these tournaments, right? So when
Mm-hmm.
our players fly to another country to play a tournament, the other country's FA can just abandon them in the airports, and people are sleeping on chairs, right?
Yeah.
Every now and then you go on Instagram and it's some former Nigerian footballer that is hungry and is begging, for his pension. Remember me? I scored this goal in something something FIFA 90 something, right?
Yeah.
Like that's those are the people that have this scornful attitude
Mm.
towards AFCON. It's not Carragher's fault, right? That's way like that's my own angle. But like it's not. I don't
Mm-hmm.
blame Carragher for reacting the way. If you go to all these like Brazil, just look at those stadiums that they have, like in South America, like in Copa America.
Mm.
70,000 seater, 60,000 seater. Those are proper football facilities. Like they have the heritage. We're not talking about, all this like grass is one part of the field is a hill, the other part
Mm-hmm.
is a valley, right? On Sunday, the mechanics and the people gather to make tire and to form posts. That's not what we're talking about. That's that. If you want African football to be taken seriously, the people in Africa have to take it seriously first and foremost. That's my own like
Okay.
I
And
buy that.
there's
attitude
another
towards it.
angle. Another angle is that Carragher has indirectly this time he created has indirectly shot his own player, his best player in the foot, and reduced his chances of getting getting Ballon d'Or because everybody's saying he's the world best at the moment, and you are there saying, oh, he won't get it because of this, creating a storm. Like it's happy to say that, oh no, yes,
No.
he's Egyptian's best person. Like hail him, prop him up, but you're there trying to like diminish his chances. Anyways, he's a Liverpool fan
There is
and
chances.
Liverpool
Nah,
player.
I think
maybe
to
it's
me,
reverse
it's just a wake
psychology
up
now.
call. I feel it's a wake up call for CAF, wake up call for all the federations in Africa. Like we need to step up our game. Investments need to be put in, and they have to be taken seriously. Like in Africa, how many good leagues do we have? Like we're talking about, apart from maybe South African and the what they call
North
them,
African League.
the North African leagues. Those are like the top five leagues we have. The load of West Africa and East African leagues are not anything to be written home about. So I think it's a
Yeah.
wake up call for FAs to like step it up, invest more. Because at the end of the day, like I said, it's about putting your product out there. It's investment. You have to put your product out there. Like Euros is always in your face. So it's already in your mind. It's like I'm telling like 6 months, 1 year ahead of Euros. It's always already they're already making plans about it. They're already putting it in your face. Billboards are already out. Sometimes they
Mm.
even do like the trophy tour. The trophy tour
And
goes to different cities.
and as
So
you
they're
guys
creating
have rightly
awareness.
mentioned, right? There's fertile ground already in the West for it because there's a huge swath of young Africans that now live in the diaspora, and they
Mm-hmm.
will watch.
Yeah,
They would
Yeah.
pay whatever
true.
this thing it is to subscribe to the streaming service that would show AFCON. They would
Mm-hmm.
watch and they would tweet about it. So
Yeah.
there will be social media interaction. Trust me, the reason why BBC or Sky or any of these people now are showing AFCON is not because they suddenly feel a responsibility to elevate the African game. It's because the numbers show that there are
Yeah.
many Dr. Toves, many Joes,
Mm-hmm.
Freds, Ahmad, Ahmed, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
like that are the children of immigrants or immigrants themselves that live in these places that want to watch. Like so the
Yeah.
economics is starting to pan out. If
Mm-hmm.
the investments, as you guys are mentioning, like can come from the other side,
Yeah.
then people would, respect the league. But till then, let's not be let's not be crying too much.
Fair enough. Speaking about not crying too much, what about Champions League chances and Europa League chances? I'll start with Johnny Boy. I know your take, but I just want to hear you rant again. I just want you to, have the floor.
Right, about
What are our chances?
For my team Arsenal, I give them probably a 5% chance to even make it. Okay, let me say 20% chance to make it past PSV, and a 0.5% chance to make it beyond the quarterfinals. Yeah, because
wow.
Arsenal doesn't have it. You see, like I watched Arsenal against West Ham. Bro, we're toothless. There was no attack. Is it Merino?
And Nottingham Forest as well.
And PSV, remember, PSV is a seasoned European team. They're like not just a pushover team. That's what people don't understand. PSV they just knocked out Juventus. Remember, so you're getting a seasoned European team. So I mean, I don't know what magic Arteta wants to. The only luck Arteta has is that the second leg is in Emirates.
That doesn't mean anything.
So. Well, that's why I'm just trying to give him a little bit. That's the only hope he has, that the second leg is in Emirates. So as long as he doesn't lose the first leg or doesn't lose with the wide margin, I think the Arsenal should be able to scale through with the second leg. But then that's the furthest I think we can go, because anybody we meet, whether it beat Atletico or Real Madrid, I don't see Arsenal going through, because first of all, apart from the squad, tactically, I believe those two managers are going to outclass. Arteta has shown that he cannot deal with coaches that are tactically flexible. He cannot deal with them. So I don't expect him to go further than the quarterfinals. That's my take about Arsenal. So
I think the way to
let's just finish second in the league. So that's one reason why I understand the sentiments of fans that saying we should have taken domestic cup serious, because to me, the Arsenal stood more chances winning those than the Champions League and the league. Well, our coach thought it otherwise. So who are we?
Arsenal's worst opponent is Arsenal, right?
Yeah.
And the way I think about this team, who you're supposed to beat, most likely you will. But the moment there's somebody equally yoked or equally matched, so I expect the first time you meet a serious team, Atletico, Madrid, Bayern, anybody that is like your senior, they'll knock Arsenal out immediately. But this kind of PSG, but this kind of PSV, I think it would just be a good. And if Arsenal is lucky, right, depending on the draw, I think a good Champions League like draw, like the path after this.
No, the path is
round,
not after if we beat PSV.
It's been made already now.
Been made. After PSV, we are either meeting Atletico Madrid or Real Madrid, because they are the two Madrid teams are playing. So we are going to meet whoever wins.
Yes.
Whoever wins that one.
And we are playing. And we are going to play PSG or Liverpool. We are in the same bracket as them.
Yeah.
So whichever way.
So I think you can beat. I think you can beat Atletico, right? But if it's Real, like, so that's what I'm saying.
The funny thing, I have a funny feeling that we can beat Real, not Atleti, because Real will come out to attack and we can beat the press. I have a feeling.
Forget about it.
But Atleti are going to give us the ball. And I'm just saying, like, I have among the two, because Atleti will give us the ball, and once you give Arsenal the ball, all we're going to do is just passing, cross, pass.
Madrid's going to play Arsenal.
Exactly, and we can try to beat the press. But we're not going to win any match. Just saying.
You're looking at it the wrong way. Madrid come out to play well. This Madrid team is perfectly willing and able to do Jimba football too. They will sit back, right? They're not like a swashbuckling Barcelona tiki-taka distinct team. 1, 2, 3 passes, Mbappe 1-on-1 versus Saliba. It's done. Like it's not like say.
But their matches against both leg against City, they didn't sit back too much. Like they sat back the first 15-30 minutes, but then they came out. Like once they knew City were not serious, they just came out to have fun.
What you're describing is quality.
That's why I said we don't have any chance anyway.
And the Man City they made this year, was way different than last. Remember last year when they met Man City, they sat back throughout because they knew that they were facing an informed Man City. But this year they knew that the Man City they were facing this year is a garbage Man City, so there was no point of sitting back and just defending all through. So that's
well, the issue is that like what Gato is describing is quality, right? So I finally understood it. Like what it means to be a Madrid footballer is that anywhere in the pitch that the ball gets to you, number one, you can control it. Like no matter what is
Yeah.
happening around you, number one, you can control it. Number two, you can make a good decision. Like so, even if they find you at the farthest corner, three opposition players around you, you can bring it down, look around, and pass to somebody else. Right? That's the Madrid this thing. So they play high stakes football. Anyhow, they just fling it to the left, to the right. Somebody is controlling it, bringing it down, passing it to somebody else because they are all
Mm.
exceptionally talented footballers. So yeah, no, Arsenal I think has a good chance if you're lucky enough to face opponents that you psychosize them up. But I think if you go against Madrid, like just based on aura alone,
That's
like
what I
it's
say. You
already
can't tell
done.
anybody up.
No,
Anyway,
you can
we
send
don't
the
have
list
any, we
up.
don't even have any attackers right now. Is this telling that he's going to?
That's what I'm saying.
Is
So
this telling,
who is going to
or is
come
it
against?
Ethan?
Like
One end is going to. They're just going to mark him out of the game. Who else is? Who
they're
else
just
is
going to
play?
box. See what they did
Odegaard
against them.
that
Who
used
did we
to
play last?
hide.
Nottingham Forest.
No, but like
Our
the
player
way Arsenal
morals are also.
plays,
The players' morale is also very is down right now. I don't even think like they're going to play well against PSV. You can see it in their body language. I think since after that January transfer window,
That's why I gave us
they just. I
20%
think
chance.
they gave up. The players gave up as well. To be like the club is not serious. We're just stressing ourselves here. We're getting injured, playing out of our skin, and there's no support for us. So it is what
That's
it is.
why I gave us
Yeah.
like 20% chance against PSG.
Mine is 5%.
Because I'm not.
nah.
People think PSG is an easy team, but I don't. I don't think PSG is an easy team because PSG have shown. Look at the game against Juventus. It was a great. Arsenal should learn from that. And Juventus had better attackers than us,
Yeah.
and still PSG were able to still grind out the win over them.
Even when we
And
met
it's
them,
Arsenal that doesn't have attackers, man.
in the
Like I
Europa
said,
League
just
under
because we have the second leg
Nistelrooy.
in Emirates.
Even when we met them
No,
under
but Arsenal has a
Nistelrooy, the
better
Europa
team
League,
than
it was
Juve.
difficult. But we're not playing better than Juve right now, so and we have no
I think
attack.
you do.
That team is fully fit, maybe, but not as it's presently constructed right now. No,
Even as it's presently
Juventus has a better
constructed,
team.
to me, the strength of this Arsenal team is that again is in Saliba, Gabriel, Raya, who
Yeah, but
is
at the
probably
end
the
of the day,
best
show you have to
keeper
still
like in the
score
Premier
goals,
League right
though.
now.
That's the problem.
I
You have to
understand what
score
you're
goals.
saying. I understand that's why I said against a team like Atletico, right? You have a chance because it's not like they're killing shit either. And if your
Yeah,
guys have a good day, if you guys have a good day, you can match Atletico pound for pound. Like you to a tight match, maybe Declan Rice, somebody Gabriel score header, one thing you can do.
We don't even
But if
scored
it's
Yeah, but
set piece in a
Madrid,
long
the
time.
difference.
but if it's Madrid, I'm saying Madrid they don't need too much. Like it's going to be one-on-one Vinicius versus somebody, Mbappe versus somebody, and they're going to come out on top. And it's going to be like
I get your point.
like
Trust me, I get your point.
it's going to
I
be
get your
bad.
point. But the thing is that
So,
Atletico still has great. They have players that can create individual moments. Alvarez is one. Griezmann is one. So, any as much as Atletico sits back, they still have those guys that can just create nothing out of something. Like Alvarez yesterday, he came on and within like 10 minutes, he scored a goal and that was
Gabriel
done. So
sees
that's what
many
Atletico can do.
Alvarez's now. They see Alvarez week in week out in the Premier League now. Like they see his type all the time.
There's
Like
Griezmann too. So
Griezmann said they
there's
see his type
Griezmann.
all
Like
the time. Like in the Premier League. Like Madrid, I'm saying if Arsenal goes to if it's PSG, Arsenal is going home. Bayern home.
No,
Madrid home. Barcelona
we played PSG already.
straight flight home. Right? But like all this like Atletico
anybody we are
Madrid,
facing, I think that's what's going on. That's the truth.
all this like Atletico Madrid, PSV, all these teams, like if Arsenal is lucky enough, the league can just open up, the Champions League can open up for you. Is a straight flight, I think, to the final. Otherwise, any big team.
Yeah.
Like of Saka Havertz,
So,
I would have believed you. If you had Havertz and Saka, I would have said, okay, yeah, you have a Martinelli, maybe I would have said, okay, fine.
Yeah.
You have a point. But without those guys, we don't stand a chance against Atletico. I'm
The
sorry.
morale is low.
Because we're not going to score, bro. What are you talking about? We're not going to score.
That's why when you're saying that we
how do
have
you
a
want us
chance
to
at the
win the
Emirates,
game?
I'm like, we don't have any chance. Even if it's 0-0 at PSV, when we come home, we are still going to lose because
We can't score. That's the issue.
Yeah.
So how are we going to beat Atletico without scoring them? Because Atletico, right now, there's a high chance of them scoring Arsenal and Arsenal scoring.
Bro,
That's the issue we're having. See against West Ham, which they scored us, we couldn't score back.
Nottingham Forest were just
That
toothless.
just tells you,
Nothing.
man. So
Yeah.
the club has, like Jonathan said, the club has given up. So we as well just wrap up the season. The
Yeah.
club has given up the season. So let's look forward to next season, like
Evra.
Evra said. So
Arteta was so
Season six,
spicy at the end
Arteta.
of the last match when they were interviewing him, talking about
Don't mind him.
what can you do? what can you do to? I think it was a draw or something. What can you do
It was
to
a
improve? He
draw.
said, "Well, I'll go and think about it.
But
I'll
mind
find
him,
out. Don't worry, I'll let you know."
he'll be talking like I think he over believe his source, right? He'll be saying that's why I said I don't listen to his press conferences because he's now talking rubbish. Before that game, he was like over
Talking
his
garbage.
He
dead body.
overbelieves his own source.
Yes, he believes in his own
Yeah.
source. He's over his dead body. Is he going to believe that the league is done? Okay, now you drew. Okay, is he still over your dead body? It's like, oh yes, I will. I beg. Let's leave Arteta and his talk alone. He has collected 15 million.
I
He's
think
top
he
and clean
knows.
out.
Ateta knows that whatever he says, majority of the fans are going to like lap it up. So that's why he comes and says Gabby. Like
Mm,
there was a statement he made before the Everton Liverpool game. They said your face was put in the program for the Everton game, right? So it was like
mm,
maybe because the last time they beat Liverpool was because he was their captain. I was playing for them, which was factually wrong because last season Everton beat Liverpool at that place, but none of the journalists could bring that error. And you see, that's the problem. And some fans will just take it up. Oh, that's true. Arteta has said it. That's true. But that's a lie. What he said it was a pure lie because Everton did beat Liverpool last season there 2-0. So I think because he knows the fans are going to lap up some garbage he says, so he just says and spews nonsense.
mm. No.
Like we all know that the league is done. Like when he listens, probably he listens to Ty a lot because Ty will never tell you
No,
that
but again,
the
I
league is
understand that.
done.
I understand
Ty,
Ty still
that.
believes that Arsenal can win.
I understand that as a
Ty
manager.
from.
AFTV. I'm sure that as a manager, he
Yeah.
has to try to build the morale of the fan base. But you can't be saying words like "over my dead body." Like, come on, are you saying to Fiakwa? Which kind of
Yeah, exactly.
when factually you're not winning the league because even right now, if Liverpool
You're not gonna win the league.
draw till the end of the
What
season,
do you mean
they're
not
still going to
factually
win the
now?
league.
What do you guys mean by not factually?
Like even
Like that?
the point that even if Liverpool loses 4 games, Arsenal cannot win 4 games to top. That's even the issue because Liverpool will drop points. There's no doubt
Bro,
about
I
it.
know,
But
I know, I know
I
you're
don't I don't
enjoying the
understand
show.
where is you people that are giving Arteta like excuses, right? That are trying to look for ways to
not me,
square
not me,
circles
not
and
me. I don't give
rationalize it.
excuses.
The man
I don't give
himself
excuses.
knows the man himself knows that and he takes himself very seriously, right? And obviously he looks around, thinks, okay, I have what it takes to win the Premier League, right? I've
Oh
tried,
yeah,
I've
that's one thing.
been
That's one thing
almost to the
again. That's
mountain.
one thing that in that same press conference that he said over my dead body, he was saying stuff like, if any other team had the kind of injuries that we have, they're
Yeah,
not going to
that
finish
yes.
second. Basically implying that it is
Arrogance.
because of him that Arsenal are second. If any other
That's
manager
arrogance.
was there, they will not be second
Is
right
it
now.
Beans? What do you mean? Is it Beans?
He's
That's what I
lying now.
said.
He's
He's
lying because
he's over believing in his source.
Bournemouth has
That's
lots
what
of
I'm
injuries.
saying.
Bournemouth is fit.
He's
No,
believing
no,
his
no, no,
source
Bournemouth
too
no,
is
wait,
much.
fit
wait.
right now with lots of injuries.
No, wait. Let's look at this thing, right? Over the last decade or so in the Premier League, right? The league has been under the dominance, severe dominance of one man, Pep Guardiola, and one team, Man City, right?
Mm-hmm.
With once they came with their money, they came with their Pep plan. Since then, it's been nothing but Pep. In that era, the only time anybody has seen road basically is with Klopp and for 1 year with Antonio Conte, basically, right? And in order to do that, Klopp is the person that has come closest, basically, to doing like a toe to toe this thing, and he basically took
Bros,
all that he
that
had
man is
of
not a
him.
Messiah.
I'm
I know
saying he took all
you're
that
just trying to
Klopp
say
had
all
of
these
him.
things so that you put words about to click us later. I don't trust what you're saying,
No,
Sean.
no, I'm putting it in context
Like
now,
basically
right?
trying
That
to big up Arteta now.
I'm just putting it in context that the only person that has been able to compete with Pep in this time, sort of, is Klopp. And the next person that has come closest to putting up a sustained fight is Arteta. Now, maybe it's the case is that like the club is not backing him enough to push Arsenal over the line. Maybe that's a problem. Maybe the problem is Arteta
No,
himself,
I disagree
has
with
a
that.
peak,
I disagree with that.
Yes, he
that
believe in his source. He's believing his source too much. That's what it is.
the
I
source
disagree
is
with
there to.
that. I won't agree that the club is not back. I don't agree the club is not backing him. Arteta is just a stubborn coach. That's the problem. He's a stubborn coach and he's going to die. The truth about it is that he's going to die by that. That's the truth. Coaches that are usually stubborn usually fall on that sort of stubbornness.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day,
Right.
there's so much the fans can take. They might back you now, but one day is one day. The fans are going to get tired. That's just the truth about it. You
Because
can't keep on giving this bullshit and fans slapping it up. At some point, the fans that are stupid right now are going to wake up because you can't keep on repeating the same thing. Like, for instance, now he can't come next season. He has made the excuse of injury this season now. he can't make the excuse of injuries next season because the fans are not going to buy that.
No, but
So I
Some
don't
is
know if
there's
still
the
no
buying.
fans are
reason
going
why
to pick up.
there's no reason why the Arsenal boardroom or the Arsenal like C suite or executive suite shouldn't open the checkbook and spend money in the summer to bring in a striker or some other attacking players. Like there's no so like
But again, it
Arteta
My
is
fear
depends
not
on
is
who
not
he
talking
people
says he
Manchester.
opening the
wants.
checkbook. Bro.
It
The problem
depends
is
on
not
who he
opening the
says he
checkbook. It's
wants.
who Arteta wants to buy.
The,
That's
the
the problem.
positions he's choosing to fill, because those guys, they just,
Thank you.
he's the
That's
manager,
my
so it's the
that's the
position he
issue I
wants
have
to
with him.
fill that they're
Thank
going
you.
to buy. So if he still does not buy a striker, I think
Yeah.
that if the Modigan and those guys come back, sorry, them Saka and those people come
Thank
back,
you. That's
they're
my
going to
issue with
score goals. They
him.
might not buy a striker,
Right.
you know. So that's the thing.
I think it's more likely that what's happening is that Arteta sees, like many clubs are experiencing right now, that when it comes to that striking position, there's very little value in the market. In the market right now, there's like
What
three
do you
strikers
mean?
that are even possibly in the market right now. There are like three strikers that are available, right? Available and that the serious teams are interested in.
Bro,
Osimhen
everybody's
is one
available
of
for the
them.
right price. I don't like when people say that. Everybody's
No,
available for
no,
the right
no,
price.
but no,
That's
no, but
that's a pure fact.
I don't like when people say that because when I'm talking about football manager here, right? When you say right price,
No, but it's the truth
what do
now.
you
Ma-
when
Frankfurt
you say
literally
right
told Man
price,
City.
what do you mean? Do you
Frankfurt,
mean like
Frankfurt.
60
Okay,
million or 70 million for Nicolas
it
Pepe?
doesn't matter.
Like is
To
that what
me,
you
I
mean?
feel that your value, a club pays what they value, what they think you're worth. Like to be honest with you, Arsenal felt that was declaration of worth for them. That's why they paid for it.
Yeah,
Forget that West Ham.
that's
They
precisely
could have
that's
backed it,
precisely
but
the
Arsenal
problem.
felt so that at the end of the day, if Arsenal feels this player is worth that amount, they're going to pay the amount. So at the end of the
No,
day,
but like
the problem
no,
is
but
not that
that's
there are three
precisely the
players.
problem. The problem is that like there's no value in the market, right? The first person to point
So
this
how do
out
you judge
was
value though? How do you judge
calm
value?
down.
That's what I'm saying. How do you judge value?
Calm down. The first person to point this out was Arsene Wenger, right? Was your manager, and obviously everybody clowned him like that. He didn't understand what time it was. But the simple truth is that like the inflationary spike basically has to end somewhere in player value in players' value, right? It has to end. It has to reach like a peak. The bubble has to burst at some point in time because we're saying when you say it depends on how much you value him. If Oli Watkins at best maybe gets you 14 goals in a season, at best get you 14 goals in a season, and that's what 60 million. The rejected 60 million pounds for Oli Watkins. So meaning
They
that maybe
didn't
they needed to
actually
add
be
an
60
extra.
million. Please, not even life for them.
It was 40, they
No,
said.
that's the price that we saw. So let's say that was a rejected offer, right? So meaning that in reality to get
That's
the
what
deal
Aston
done,
Villa asked for.
they probably needed to add another 15 or 10 to that to get the deal done. So you're
Hmm.
telling me that 70 million or 75 million pounds only gets you 14 goals in a season. Now you tell me, is that value? Is
That
that
was not
is
what.
that value?
Yeah, but at the same time, Sheuti, also remember that some players thrive more in certain like environment. So Oli Watkins now might be scoring 40 league goals in what do you call it in Aston Villa. Doesn't mean that he
Aston
won't
Villa.
score more than 40 league goals in Arsenal. So like Haaland was scoring goals in Dortmund, but not to the level of Man City because Man City has a better team than Dortmund. So at the same
Okay,
time,
so
your
Haaland is a
team matters
wonderful
on top.
example. Haaland is a wonderful example. How much did they buy Haaland for? Right? How much did they
Yeah,
buy Haaland
like, but
for?
always say Haaland, they bought Haaland for six, but we all know that there was a lot of backhand deals behind Haaland.
We don't
Let's
all know
forget
that.
Haaland because we all know they pay
No,
60
but
million,
that's
but we know that it's more than.
no, but therein lies fundamentally the
But
problem,
then
right?
Haaland's case,
Because
that Haaland had a release clause. So that was another thing. He had a release clause, so that helped. He had a release clause.
no,
His
okay,
agent was smart enough. He let him lose.
so let's say your striker is 70 million. In every good window, you probably need to buy three or four players, or two and a half, or three players, or four. So
Mhm.
let's say your striker is 70 million. How much is the midfielder that you need? Another 60 million, right? Because that's just where we are
But you
right
cannot
now in
you
terms of the
cannot go
pricing.
spend.
So
The way I do that is that, like for instance, if Arsenal had rectified their striking option last summer, this summer now going into we may now have needed to get a striker. So now we're just focused on the midfield. But now because they
no,
didn't rectify last summer, so this summer now we have to not only get
last
midfielders
last summer
but also get
last summer who
attackers.
was the striker? Last summer who was the striker? You know football,
There
you
was
watch
Ivan
football.
Tony, there was Tony,
Who
bro. Let's not even start. There was Tony, there was Gokeres, there was Osimhen. So let's not even
Why
start.
of all the
All
teams who
those,
need
all those
strikers, why do you think Tony ended up in Saudi Arabia?
bro,
Of all the
you
teams who
cannot be
needed
bro. That's the problem. Don't use other teams to judge. Everybody's target is different. Arsenal's target was to win
What
the league. So leave.
what do you mean?
Why will I be looking at Liverpool and Man City?
It's
My target should be different
it's a
from everybody.
market now, right? It's an open market where teams want striker, and ostensibly a striker of Ivan Toney's quality. Everybody looked around, and nobody said, "Oh, give me that guy!" Right? Such a discount, such a bargain. So much so that
Yeah,
he had
but
to
at the
fly.
different, everybody
Do
has
you know how
different
long the
stages in
flight
life.
is from the UK to
Saudi
where
Arabia.
Tony is playing football now? Nobody even said, "Oh, let me just let's cut this flight by how many hours to Turkey, maybe, or even because Turkey is where you go to if if you're really purgatory. Saudi is when there's no hope for you again, like in the normal leagues, basically. So you have to go all the way to Saudi. I don't think it's an accident. I think managers will look and say, do I want this person in my squad? Do I want this character, this dynamic? Do I want to bring him into my squad? The funds that I have, can I get real value for what I'm looking for? If you look around in the market, what I see there's like I said, like two or three strikers that are really available. And somebody's going to have to take a gamble. And that person is going to pay a big check and is going to be left either with a bag of shit or with a good purchase. It's Osimhen or Gyökeres, really. Or if somebody has too much money, they can go and get Alvarez from um, Atletico Madrid. But
Which
that's
Atleti
it.
is going to
They're
collect
looking for
100 million. Those
strikers.
guys don't sell for cheap. Those guys sell well.
Who's that?
Yeah, but yeah,
Atletico
but the
Madrid.
problem is that
Atletico
Chelsea,
Madrid.
They sell well.
I cannot judge based on you because everybody has different targets. So because Chelsea didn't go for Ivan Toney doesn't mean Arsenal doesn't need Ivan Toney. Everybody's
No,
different.
what Sean is not saying.
You know what you're
Sean is
going
not
for.
saying
We're
you
going for
don't
the big
need.
title.
He's
So
just
you need a
saying that
striker.
there's a reason why they're not buying them. You need them, but there's something that's stopping the entire market
The
from
question
saying,
is
okay,
why.
we're not
It's not
touching.
just that Chelsea didn't buy him. It's why. Why
We
did
all know
why
the
did
answer
Chelsea
is
buy
because
him?
Arteta doesn't like big characters. That's why we all know. That's why I feel that he's not going to go for a top striker because Arteta doesn't want a big character. Like
So
look at all the
let
signings he has made.
a big character like who? Like a big character like who?
That's what I'm saying. Anybody that's going to challenge, anybody
Like
that's going to
Gabriel.
like do
Do you think Gabriel is not
with Gabriel.
one of the
Let me
biggest
hear
characters
what.
in the league now?
Remember
He's
last season. Remember last season. They had the fight last season. What did he do to Gabriel? He benched Gabriel. Gabriel had to apologize to come back to the team.
because
That's what I'm talking about, bro.
he's the manager. Because he's the manager, and no player's authority can be
But
seen
as a
to
manager,
be.
you
Why
need
would the manager
characters in
want
your
a
team.
player that
You
is
need
bigger than him?
characters. No, but Chelsea, as a great manager, as a top manager, you still need characters in your team. Ancelotti, as great as he still has characters in his team, because guess
I don't
what?
think
You
I don't
help
think
them and they
Arteta is
help you.
afraid of. I don't think Arteta is afraid of characters in his
He
team.
is. He is. Why has he not signed any person of great character? Look how the signings has made. I'm not talking out of the box. All the signings he has made are
No,
guys
for
that
me, I
what?
just think again that is me. I
Quiet.
think he's believing his source. He's thinking he can turn everybody into like
Like
Superman. He's trying to do that as a Wenger thing that
if
I'm
you
going to
sign him
get.
and
I'm
Tony,
going to
you're
find the
get somebody that's
Henry
going to like a little bit
and
of
make him
rebel.
into Henry.
You know that you might sign somebody that's going to be a rebel. Arteta doesn't want that because he knows that. But at the end of the day, you need players like that in your team. Look at the
Wait,
stories of them, man. You look at the Man
is
United.
is
Look at the United
Trossard
season of gold.
is Trossard not a hothead?
Oh my God! So are you trying to mock? Are you mocking us or what? Are you trying to trust that? Are you trying to mock us?
But he is
I'm
a
not mocking
hothead.
you guys now.
But it's
I'm
fact.
reacting to what I see now, and I see somebody in Arteta that's like as much as I hate Arsenal FC, and I know that like the evil spirits, right, that lives in the ground would forever sabotage whatever it is that you're trying to do. But ultimately, Arteta is the closest thing that you guys have come to. The closest thing that any other club I
Well,
think
they're
in the
not
league
winning
has come
anything. There's not like
to an
closeness. Stop,
organic
let's
like.
stop all this closeness. We didn't win shit. Even the club
What do
that are
you
big.
what
This
do
one
you
is why a
mean?
big club. One of the things, one reason why we big club is because apart from the league, okay, he won the league only once. But guess what? In his I think it was his second full season, he won the Champions League. In his
No, but
second full
who are
season
you
with
comparing
Liverpool.
Arteta to? Who are you comparing Arteta
So
to?
you,
To
you,
Klopp?
you brought up club now. You brought up club. So the club you brought
No.
up. So I'm trying to give you example.
When I bring up Klopp and Pep, I'm talking about geniuses, right? Who effectively have written their
You said
name
challenge
into
now,
the
so you're trying to
no,
put Arteta in
yes,
club's listing now. That's what you're trying to
wait,
do.
no, but exactly now, right? So, but will you now crucify Arteta for not yet becoming immediately one of the best managers in the history of the league? Because Klopp, effectively, that's what he has done.
Yeah,
He's a genius.
no,
Him
no, but five
and
years.
Pep.
5 years is enough. 5 years to me is enough. In modern football right now, 5 years is more than enough for a manager to have gotten over the line.
But
That's what I feel
it's
because
not just
we all
5 years
know
now, right?
the average lifespan of managers right now is 3 years. The average lifespan of managers in football clubs now is 3 years. I think that's done 5.
It's
Going
not
to the 6
just
next season.
but,
So I
but
think it's more
it's
than
not just
enough time.
5 years. it's not just 5 years. It's 5 years on the back of 10 to 15 post Wenger, right? It's 5 years on the back of a previous correction.
Wenger
So,
still won trophies, so it is. Wenger still won trophies. As he got us in
no,
Champions League. It was his last 2 seasons he didn't get Champions League. And he won the FA Cup in those seasons. I think that's done none. I just said that in
are we
the
really
podcast
doing
that
Wenger revisionism? Like, is that
no, but you
where,
brought up
where we
Wenger
have
now.
gotten to now? I'm bringing up Wenger
Don't
to
bring
say
when
that,
when
like,
you talk
I'm
about
bringing up
Wenger,
Wenger to say
don't
that, like,
disrespect Wenger with that champions. They're not made.
in the post Wenger regime, Arsenal found themselves in the wilderness, right? Kind of like where United are now, where
We are still in the
Liverpool were
wilderness,
for a
Shewiti.
long
Nothing
time.
has changed. We are still in the
Okay,
He's
wilderness.
still, that's what he
That's the
said.
no,
point. We are still in
yes,
the wilderness right
yes,
now.
you're still in the wilderness. But I'm saying when you say 5 years, it's not just 5 years, right? And that's a lesson that, like, I wish United would understand, and that I wish other football fans would understand, because it's not fair to compare your managers basically to Pep or Klopp. That's just the argument that I'm making. You
Nobody
can't
is. I've
compare.
never compared him, but I'm saying
Because
five
that's the
years.
standard. That's the only standard by which Arteta is a failure, right? And it's a standard
No.
that I'm perfectly willing
Nobody
to
said I've never called him a failure,
weaponize,
right?
right?
I've never.
When
I
it
just.
suits
I
me.
always say that.
Right, sorry guys. I will have
I've never called
let's
Arteta a
let's move
failure,
this
but I
on
always say
because
that to me.
Johnny Boy can spend 3 hours arguing at Arteta, so we would have
I've always
to
said that I feel that
we would have
Arteta
to
is
move on.
Arsenal's Brendan Rodgers. Doesn't mean he's a failure.
Okay.
He's Arsenal's Brendan Rodgers to me. In
You're
as much as
calling
he's here to build a good
that
team,
that's
he's here
that
to build up
is
a good
that
team.
is another way of calling him a failure. When you say that's
No,
not
what are you
Brendan
talking about?
Rodgers.
Well, we can also
It's
debate
not. It
whether he
doesn't
has
mean he's a
built.
failure.
We can debate whether he has built
Okay, is
a
it is
good
a
team.
stepping stone?
But let's move on.
Exactly what I'm saying. Doesn't mean he's a failure.
Yes. So please,
Okay.
Mr. Sheon, you're playing Real Sociedad next, right? What are your chances in Europa League based on the way you guys are playing?
Amorim wants us to go and learn football again from the beginning, because that's really what's happening. Like, we have to start from scratch. Everybody go and learn the basics of football again, because I don't understand what I'm watching or what I'm seeing basically from this United team, right? I don't get it. This guy wants me to believe that this is the way, right? That this is the only way that football can be played, and that it has to be so laborious, so boring, so just uninspired. Like, no creativity, no running, no nothing basically from this United team. I struggle to see where anything can come from, right? So if it's not like a miracle, every game is basically going to be like this game that is Fulham. So from now to the end of the season, we're just going to be struggling. Like, there's no single time where it's like, oh, okay, we beat this team, but they're such a poor team. That's why we beat them, right? Because nobody's a poor team when it comes to playing against this United team. Everybody looks good. Everybody turns into prime Real Madrid or prime Barcelona, basically against us. So I don't know what to expect versus Real Sociedad. I think it's going to be a tough game, not because they're such a good team, but because our team is just so poor. Basically, like, we have absolutely no attacking intent. And I was watching this game today. I'm like, why are all our players behind the ball? And then I'm like, oh wait, we have an extra defender, right? We have an extra defender compared to everybody else. So, there's always going to be one guy that's just positioned at the back. And the width is supposed to come from magically from our wingers or from our midfielders who are supposed to, have 7 different lungs. So yeah, honestly, like, this season, I'm exhausted.
Right.
I'm tired.
Oh.
I'm bored of the Amorim, circus
Yeah.
and media this thing. It's
Remember,
Rashford that I'm looking to
you
give me
remember that
joy from
time that
Aston.
Amorim was announced as your manager, and you came here with your
Right.
chest fully open, like you've
Your
just
wife,
benched 250 kilograms, saying, that now that Amorim is coming, is the league scared? And I said, why should I be scared? We've not seen him play yet. And you're
Yeah.
like, come on, you see the way he played City in the Champions League. Like, what happened to
Yeah.
that shell? What happened to that chest? Like, where did it go?
Yeah, no, it's Amorim now. He lost all the credibility that he earned with me and with a lot of fans. He lost it. Like basically now, at Old Trafford, the fans were booing at different points in time today because everybody's tired of of this whole football, right? Where before the ball gets forward, you must first pass like 3 times, basically between Maguire and
But the
Delete
late
and
was,
Mazraoui
like
first.
spraying balls from left to right. It was like, switching the game up and
No,
down.
no, no. They try now, right? They try to do that, but that's like police village football. Like you're not going to get anything out of that, because for it to
Mm.
work, you must first have dragged the team, one way then the next, to get them out of shape before somebody hits a long diagonal to somebody that is hopefully free
Mm.
on the other side. So it's not a sustainable way of playing. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
Also,
In his
so
defense, it's giving you chance. It's giving you chances. So in the
it's
defense,
good.
That's not
That's
youth,
the only
right?
bright
That's not
spark.
youth, because you had Chido from
He
Arsenal,
plays for
you had
Manchester
Heaven
United
from
now.
Arsenal.
he had heaven.
Yeah, even
Somebody said he had heaven
the
playing for the
the
Devils.
the,
Okay.
the goalkeeper
Uh,
on the bench was also from Arsenal. You guys are just coming to London Coney and taking all our stars, hoping that they're going to help you guys.
no,
Okay.
when Arsenal don't want to, you don't want to play the youth now, right? You don't want to give them a chance. So
Mm,
Obi is the only
There's
bright
not that
spark,
amount of
honestly.
money now.
He's the only bright spark
fair enough.
from
Let's
from this game, because that young man is a baller. Like,
Do you not accept that Haaland is C-Tech, Højlund is C-Tech,
Yeah, that was
Haaland?
my
Do you
next
not accept
question.
that?
Now, what are you guys going to do with him? Are you selling? Are you keeping? Are you benching?
my own take on it personally is
Yeah.
that right now there's an Amorim tax on every single player that is in United. Everybody looks worse, since Amorim has come in. Everybody looks like a shadow or a shell of themselves, basically, since the manager has come in. So I'm just putting it down to the Amorim tax. I think Højlund is neither a shitty player nor Haaland. Sorry, he's who he is, a young kid with lots of potential. Now, that potential needs to be in a positive environment for the potential to shine or to thrive, right? It needs to be in an environment that, like, is working in his favor. And it's not. Like, so I've seen enough from Højlund in Ten Hag's 2 years to know that, like, okay, he had the potential to go through proper patches where he scores goals. So there's
Mm,
somebody in there. There's a striker somewhere in there.
okay.
But this our manager, again, like I said, wants us to rediscover football. Like, we need to go and start from. Everybody needs to go and start and learn how to play football again
Yeah.
from scratch. So, Højlund needs to figure out where it
Fair enough.
comes in, basically, to this equation. So I'm
Hoyland
keeping
and Hoyland and Nketiah, who is a better striker?
Højlund and Ketia, who's a better striker. Um, um, I don't know. I don't know.
Nketiah at
I
Arsenal, not
think
Nketiah at Crystal
Ketia is
Palace.
now. I don't like Ketia, but Ketia is.
I don't know
There's not
now.
like a striker
I
that you.
think I think Nketiah gave his best years to Arsenal.
Mm,
Right. Unfortunately for him, he gave his best years to Arsenal, and maybe in 2 years' time he becomes like a Danny Welbeck type of guy for either Crystal Palace or for another team, right? And maybe
yeah,
that's
he has
Højlund's
two in
future
two
as well.
now this week. It's called in Premier League. It's called in the FA Cup as well. 2 in 2,
Yeah,
back-to-back
true.
goals.
I Yeah, I just wouldn't be too harsh on Højlund, because, like I said, there's an Amorim tax. I think the Amorim tax is heavy
Okay.
on Rasmus Højlund, unfortunately.
Anyways, I just only say that to say that you guys have seen him under 3 managers. You've seen him under Ten Hag. You've seen him under Nistelrooy. Now you've seen him under
Nistelrooy was the
under
manager for
Amorim.
2 days now.
But still, under Nistelrooy, we saw Rashford play well. We saw Garnacho play well. Like,
Three managers.
yes. So I'm just saying that, maybe it's time you guys count that as a flop, a waste of £80 million or something. And,
No,
you know,
it's possible. It's very possible, right? And if that's what happened, I think it would be because Højlund couldn't emotionally and psychologically, like, rise up to the occasion, right? Because it's not that, like, he's just lacking quality. The Højlund story has been one of fans falling out of love with Højlund, basically.
mm,
So it would be that, like, okay, at United it didn't work out, but I think he has potential to go somewhere else and do very well.
yeah.
Honestly, this is how I
But
see Højlund.
we were saying
Uh,
that United are not playing well. Even Arsenal are not playing well. This question can kind of apply to Arsenal as well. But who are the leaders in the Manchester United dressing room to say, okay, guys, the manager is saying let's play this way. It's boring, but we need to step up our game. We need to take the bull by the horn. Like, who do you think are your leaders on the pitch?
No, no, it's a good way to segue into the whole Roy Keane Bruno conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because on paper, the main leader is supposed to be our captain, which is Bruno Fernandes. But
Yeah.
I don't see him as a leader, and I agree 100,000% with Roy Keane. If you're a United player, basically you're in the trenches, it's a tough game. I don't think it helps to look at your captain for leadership and see him crying and shouting and just flailing his arms. Like passion is good. I'm not one of those people who think Bruno is holding the team back in the sense that he shouldn't be in the team. I think he should be one of our players, but I just don't think he should be the captain. The problem, unfortunately, is that if Bruno is not the captain, who can be the captain? There's nobody else. Honest, that's just the
Give it
honest,
back to Maguire.
unfortunate truth.
Give it back to Maguire, the former
So
captain.
so so that so that so that so that the Mumujin can just jump back, right? You don't see how they say the flog devil out of you. Like Maguire, the suffer that he went through, the madness has left him. If you give him that captain back,
Mm.
immediately he will just jump back in. It's okay.
Yeah. But
It's
that
okay
that
with Bruno now.
but there are two types of captain. There are some captain that will lead through scoring goals, and there's some that will be like shouting, come on boys," like then Patrick Vieira and Tony Adams, as you right, like Roy was pointing to Ian Wright. But on the other hand, like even the game against Fulham, there was no way that there was no, even if you guys had played like 300 minutes, if Bruno did not
Mm.
take that shot, you guys wouldn't have scored. And the previous game, like he scored like a nice free kick as well to kind of keep you guys in
Yeah.
the game and things like that. He's contributing goals. Yes, it's not, the goals are not enough, but I think he's still doing his bit to try to like take the team forward, even
No,
though he's
that's
complaining
why
at the
he
same
should be
time.
in the team.
Hmm.
That's why he should be one of the first names on team sheets, right? Because he scores goals and he delivers. But
Mm-hmm.
say captain, as per who is the leader of the team, I
Mm-hmm.
don't think he can be somebody as emotionally unstable, basically, as
Well,
Bruno Fernandez. Like
Onana is a good shout. It's not emotionally unstable. Whether he's playing well or not playing
Onana,
well, he has a level
Onana.
head.
Yeah, the
He has
issue now
a
is that
level
Ah,
head.
based on what you just said, who would you not give captaincy because you don't want to give
that's
Maguire? So who do you
that's
give?
that's the
Who is
catch
your
that's
best?
the catch 20 that's the catch
Who is your
22 that
best shout?
It's
is the catch
Onana
22 that we're
At
in
least
now.
or
It's,
Mazraoui.
he's leading by
it's an
scoring
unfortunate
goals.
situation because Bruno being the captain is a bad thing. It's a bad thing for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he's the best of the options that we had. I think the most ideal situation would be for David De Gea to have still been around, have still been our keeper, right? Because this
Mm.
Onana experiments failed, it's not working. Like
Yeah,
Onana is not a better keeper than De Gea,
No,
and
it's
the
not.
distribution that we said we're looking for distribution is not there. Like that passing
No,
stuff
it's
is a myth. Is not there,
no. I see. He's a good distributor. He's a good distributor. He's good with his
guy.
feet.
And
he is just that United is not.
Your players are not just good
which is not
enough.
only
Your
which
guys that I cannot
is
control.
UPS not Nina. Guy, I'm telling you, Onana doesn't distribute shit. Like as a United fan that watches the game, right? The whole idea of that Inter Milan versus Man City final.
Mm.
Give me two passes from goalkeeper to striker. Like let me know that you're a player to goalkeeper. That's the whole
Mm.
idea. Super keeper. Yeah, a
Mm.
third man. You can just guy.
You're looking for Allison and Ederson. He's not that, but at least he's still a tier below.
Yeah, he's in
See,
the second level.
if it's to kick the ball forward, that's what I say. If he's want to kick the ball, kick is the air can kick. It's not about what I thought we were getting. The whole idea was that okay, you bring Onana in
We'll start a counter attack
when you
for you
split the two
guys.
defenders, your keeper can now move forward and he too can give through pass. Right,
Mm.
he's good on the ball, so he can help you with
But
distribution.
when they
That's the
came
whole
to
idea
United,
that
he
you
was
had.
doing that, and you guys wanted to die. So they told him to sit back at the post. So you guys took it out of him because when he first came, he was always coming to the midfield. People were just lumping the ball, things like that. So you guys pushed him
all
back
the all
towards the
joy
net.
now. That's all the above. That's what I'm saying. That like the most ideal situation would have been for the hair to still because I still think that like this house of ahead really,
Mm.
really, 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 really comes from bad juju that like bad energy that we put out there with the way we treated the hair. So
Mm.
it's just bad karma that is coming back basically to hunt us one by one. So if it's to sell match, the hair they sell match, none of the sell match, right?
Mm.
If it's bad distribution, the hair cannot pass the ball, neither can Onana. But at least with the hair, we got some mad saves
And
every now and then. Single
some
handedly
golden
can
gloves as
save
well.
some goal.
Onana has saved you guys. No, Onana has saved you
See,
guys a
guy,
couple
if
of
the
times
ball
this
is
season.
Onana does all this like Hollywood you can dive, right? You can make the dive very like dramatic. But all this kind of save that they used to save that like the Dave saves,
Mm.
nobody compares to David. But and he has that aura of oh, I've been here since Peggy.
Mm.
Like I've lifted Premier League trophy, right? I really understand this place. That kind of person, sure,
Yeah.
no wahala.
Nostalgia.
But Bruno, like eh, Bruno irritates me like as a United fan so much. I'm sure he irritates his fellow players too because somebody that is always it's not as if you're Roy Keane where your own game is always 7/10, right? So you know that like you're at a bare minimum.
Mm.
You don't give away the ball like an idiot. You're not always caught out of position. You play
You're not
ball
always
7/10.
prime.
But Bruno, one day is 2/10, another day is 10/10. Right?
Mm.
That's what you get from
Yeah,
a
I was
guy on the
surprised they even
spectrum.
give him man of the match today. I was like, what did he do today to deserve man of the match apart from the
Squad
equalizer?
now.
Yeah, it's just
Just
that's
squad.
just rubbish. I think they're just trying to
Oh,
compensate
now.
him as well. But yeah, since your team, Johnny Boy, who do you think is going to win now? With their team is in shambles, they have no confidence. Amorim ball is not Amoriming. Arteta ball has Arteta's ball has no balls.
What
Like,
are we saying? Arsenal is going to win. This is a question.
and it's at Old Trafford as well. So
Now Old Trafford, though.
yeah. So what are you saying, Johnny Boy?
And I don't we don't have attackers too. So I
Yeah.
mean, I don't trust Merino against Maguire and Delete. No offense.
Are you guys winning your soon?
The game thinks to me of a draw though. It thinks of me of a boring draw, just like Nottingham Forest game. To be honest, with you, because
Are you guys winning your soon? Do you not watch Ipswich
is it too far?
against Man United? See,
Uh,
anybody that wants to play ball, anybody that can play ball,
Yeah, but see the difference. Ipswich
you're going
has
to play.
attackers. That's not done. That's the problem.
That's
That's
what
why
I'm
they want to
saying.
score you guys. They have
Which kind
attackers. We
Ipswich?
don't.
It's not about having attackers. Just watch the way we play. Like just watch the game against Fulham today. There's no midfield.
but again,
There's no midfield. There's no attack. There's
But
no
basically,
is
it's
the
always put the ball back of the net for you.
exactly.
Don't
When Arsenal
win
come
the
to
game.
town, your players naturally are going to rise up to say this is a big team. Let's
Thank
let's show
you. And you have the
some
tendency to stand
bollocks.
up against big teams. Look at your games against Man City, Liverpool, even
Exactly.
your two games against Arsenal. You can't compare them
so
to against Fulham. You were better. You were better equipped. You played better in those games. So that's why I feel like to me, it's things more of a draw because I see Arsenal going there not to lose.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't think we're going to win. If we win, it's going to be fluke because we have no attackers.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't know if you
I
saw the
think
game
if
against West Ham. Against West Ham, Trossard was on the flank with a ball. All Odegaard had to do was just just be an option. He was running.
Yeah, make
He was
it.
he was running to the right,
but what are
like
you guys
ran
talking
behind
about now?
three
West
different
Ham are a
defenders.
team. West Ham are a team.
Yeah.
Kudus carries the ball and he can push
Now,
like
I was
five
even talking
people
about our
away.
counter attack. We are doing counter attack. Odegaard is supposed to be an option. He was running to the right. He tried to go and hide behind three different
Went run away
West
from the
Ham
ball.
defenders. Like
No, but
we have
I'm
no
saying
attackers.
you guys came up against a team, right? A
Nottingham
team that
Forest are
had
a team as well, and you guys are a team.
Nottingham
You
Forest.
guys will
They are a
defend.
team. We are not.
So is
Right?
Manchester United.
You play your 5-5-0
No,
formation. Arsenal will not be able to break it down.
there's nobody like Kudus in at United. There's nobody like Chris
Garnacho.
Wood. There's nobody
Yeah,
like Chris
Garnacho
Wood
can come in
or
second
any
half.
of the Nottingham Forest players at
Garnacho.
even
The one of
even
Garnacho.
even if Garnacho has the potential
Yes.
to do what Kudus does on a given day, Kudus has the presence of mind and the experience as a pro guy. He does it week in, week out. That's the difference between somebody like Bruno or Garnacho, hot and cold, right? And somebody who gives you a baseline 6/10, 6.5/10, 7/10 every single game.
Hmm.
That's what you get. Even Wan-Bissaka, like even Aaron Wan-Bissaka, see what you want about him, but he can do that is this thing, shake body, and he can cross the ball
Yeah,
into
he
the
did the
box.
shake body for us now.
He
So,
can try it.
yeah.
There's nobody in a United team that is crossing the ball to anybody's head. It's not
Wow.
happening.
So we are thinking we're
It's
not going to
not.
play well. You are thinking you're not going to play well. So like, let's just do
Guy,
prediction
we're
now.
going to
He's trying to
this match.
he's trying to play the
I'm
you
not
know.
trying.
Yeah,
I'm
so
not trying
that's
to
when they
play
win, you
anything.
come and dance on our head.
I'm
Yeah,
not
come
saying
and boast.
if we win, normal. If we win, I would dance. But I'm telling you, my expectation is a very frustrating game for me as a United fan, right?
And
An
me too.
extremely
That's what we're saying.
frustrating
That's what
game,
Arsenal fans are saying too.
basically, where if we get anything out of this game, by anything I mean anything for me is as long as a 3 goal gap. So I consider if you guys beat us 1-0,
Arsenal scored 3 goals
we've
in this
won.
team.
If you score only one, you've won. I see. So if you score only one, we've won. If you score only two, we've also won. Right? As far
Oh
as in
my
my
god.
mind. So anything above 3, then you guys are
Fair
really
enough.
won because
Let's.
if
That's
Arsenal
why I know
if they're
you're
even
trolling us
serious,
now. You're trolling us now. That's how I know you're trolling us because you mentioned 3 goals. Where are the 3 goals coming from? Where? How? Is it handball? Are we playing handball? It's only if we Arsenal is playing handball right now. Say we have can score 3 goals.
no, was it not
You
2
have
weeks
said
ago or
one
3
goal.
weeks
You are
ago
saying
that you
three.
guys scored? Was it not 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago that you
Oh,
guys scored
Leicester. Now
4
don't,
or
that's what I'm
something?
saying. Don't use Leicester to
Yeah.
judge. Leicester is like
What are
Leicester
you
is a very
saying?
poor team.
The Leicester not almost beat us. What are you saying? Leicester is the poor team. Did you watch
But
us
you
versus
beat
Leicester?
Leicester, right?
Yeah,
Did you
You
watch
3-2.
the
beat
game?
Leicester, right?
Did
I
you watch
watched the
us
game, the
versus
FA Cup
Leicester?
game now. Use
Okay.
Ojoro to beat them.
So, so that's what you're saying.
It was Vieira. You guys should have won now.
Okay. So
My guys was on
if
pure vibe.
you're using Leicester as a standard, right? I'm saying we are currently as bad as Leicester, if not worse. So if there's anybody that Arsenal can manage to beat four, if there's any team you can imagine in your mind that okay, that this is the
Four.
poorest, this
No,
is the team that is
now I
that
just
poor
they're telling us
that we
now.
can.
Okay.
I'm
And let's
saying
go into
this United
You're
prediction.
team
not
as I'm
telling
seeing
us 4
us.
goals. Chelsea 4 goals.
No.
Who is scoring the goals? I want to know
Anyways,
who.
my prediction is 1-1. 1-1. Man United. Arsenal.
1-1.
That's what I
Yeah.
think. I'm going for a draw because Arsenal
No.
is not going to go there. Knowing Arteta, you'll go there not to lose the game. So it's things of a draw.
What's your
I'll
prediction?
probably go
Man.
1-1 full dog.
I'll go 3-0. 3-0 Arsenal.
Amen, Shabo.
Yeah.
I know it's not going to happen.
But even if we win, it doesn't mean anything for the season anymore. So whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nottingham Forest. The little will just be like we beat you home and away. At least in the Premier League, we can take that.
No.
Nottingham Forest, Manchester City.
Well, we did it last season too now, so it's not new.
Nottingham Forest, Manchester
Forest
City.
City.
Yeah.
No, I mean Man U now.
I think City will win. I think
Nah,
City.
beat Forest.
Okay. So what's your
Forest 2-1. Nottingham Forest 2-1.
Sean, what are you going for?
I'm in for City 2-1. Reverse of what John said.
Okay. I'm also going City 2-1. And then Brighton Fulham. That one, I'll say Brighton 3-1. Because I think Fulham is exhausted from the FA Cup game, playing 120 minutes and taking all of their star boys out.
Brighton also played 120 minutes too.
Yeah,
Who's
but
at home?
Brighton at home. But Brighton are more potent than Fulham. So they can bring it at the Welbeck at any point. They have Minte, they have João Pedro if they want it. They
I'll
have
say
Mitoma.
2-2.
Brighton 2-1.
Brighton 2-1. Crystal Palace, Ipswich. That one, 3-1 again. Crystal Palace, Ipswich. No, 3-0. Ipswich is not scoring at Sellers Park. No. So 3-0. It's my
2-0
prediction.
Palace. 2-0 Palace. I just hope Mateta is back before that game though.
What? That way they smashed his face. Oliver said it's not a red card. Anyways.
Yeah, his ear, bro. I saw the bro, it was crazy.
Sean,
Really
what's
lucky his ear. The guy actually dodged and he got his ear. The guy was going for his face.
Sean, Crystal Palace, Ipswich. What are you going for?
Crystal Palace, Ipswich. Crystal Palace now.
1-0, 2-0, 4-0, 7-0.
Crystal Palace 2-1. They'll concede.
Liverpool, Southampton. That one 4-0.
Liverpool 4-0, man. 4-0.
Yeah, because Southampton will not have any sniff in that game.
I think Southampton is already in the second division as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
To me, the way I see them play, they're just waiting, they're just doing the countdown.
They have only like 9 points, right,
Next
in the
season.
season. So yeah, they're going. Sean, what's your prediction
I
for
feel
that
like
one?
to me, I see them as in as countdown. Once you score them like 2 goals, their
Uh,
morale just goes down.
I think Liverpool comfortable the office 2-0.
And the next one is Brentford Aston Villa. That one, it's a tough one for me to call because Aston Villa are up and down. Brentford are also up and down.
I go Brentford 2-1. After the Champions League midweek 2-1 Brentford.
2-1.
And Champions League is home is this week and next week. So
Yeah,
I'm very sure Emery will be prioritizing that one over the league.
yeah. Because that's something that he can win. You prefer the cup, you're right. I'll go with same as you, 2-1 Brentford as well. What about you, Sean? Brentford Aston Villa?
I think Aston Villa doing a nice rotation stuff with their players. Asensio and Rashford don't always start to come in, do so. I think they have enough to manage the fixture. This thing, 2-1 Villa.
And then Wolverhampton Everton at Wolves at the Molineux. Everton, I'm going 2-0. 2-0 Everton. It's my prediction.
1-1. 1-1. Wolverhampton 1-1.
Wow. You think they're going to draw? Interesting.
Mm.
And then Sean.
Um, I think Everton are finally going to be quite surprised. Does Cunha have red card?
I
No.
don't remember. I think it should
Yeah, I
get.
think he got red card, right?
I don't remember.
I think
Didn't he get a red card against Bournemouth?
yeah, I didn't get a red card. Okay, Everton,
If he did,
Everton.
because the rules is nothing without that guy.
Yeah,
Let me check. Let
Everton,
me be sure.
Everton
Because
2-1.
if he did collect red card, then nah, I have to change it. I know that I got beat
So
for that
you're
rule.
sticking. You're changing from 1-1. Johnny boy, you're changing
Yeah,
from
just
1-1
let
to
me be
what?
sure first. If he's in, they get red card. It's Cunha, they get red card though. I'm changing, please. Everton 1-0.
Okay. And then Chelsea Leicester
Like
again.
literally, he's Wolverhampton's attack. So without him, I don't trust them.
Chelsea Leicester at Stamford Bridge. I'm going 3-1.
Chelsea 3-0.
Yeah, I think Leicester will
Oh,
score.
wow.
Leicester is another very very bad team, man.
They go soon sack my guy. Oh. It's too bad, man.
I think it's an interim anyway. I think it was interim.
I don't know. I don't know
I
why he took
mean,
that job.
he knew what he signed up for.
Yeah.
I know. I don't think. I don't know why. I don't know why he took that job. I think he
He
was
just
just
he didn't want to
desperate. He
sit
was in
down.
He was
England.
believing his hype.
Yeah.
He was believing his hype. You know,
No,
I think he won
not
like
just
2 games
high.
for United.
The guy was hungry. He had just been sacked. His whole plan
Yeah.
was turned around.
He
He's
wanted to
like, this is not
touch.
why I came to
Yeah, and
England.
he
Yeah.
just remember he won 2 games to United, so Baba was believing his hype.
Obviously, he was a coach. He was a
Yes,
coach
no.
in PSV. He came to be assistant coach. I think he wanted to have that managerial feel again, to be the boss man. So whatever
Yeah.
happened. Yeah.
He just wanted something. He just wanted a job. And Leicester came and he took it. He should have waited.
He have waited
Should
for
have
West Ham
waited
now.
for West Ham,
West Ham would have been a better
Nah,
job.
West Ham would have gone for Potter
Everton.
anyway. West Ham think they're a big
Anybody
team.
would have been better. Anybody would have been better than this Leicester that I went to go and take because they are going. It's very. It's losing that they are losing, and there's more losing in store for them. Even though this Chelsea, at this point in time, if there's anybody that they could use to get the miracle from, it would be this Chelsea
And
team.
their deficiencies will not show. That's the
Who is
problem.
at home?
Chelsea at home.
Chelsea. Okay. Chelsea will win. Chelsea.
Doesn't even matter anywhere. Doesn't matter.
Chelsea
How
will
many?
win 3-1.
Right, 2 more games for the weekend. Tottenham, Bournemouth, Tottenham Stadium. I'm going.
Bournemouth.
I'm going 2-1
That's a
Bournemouth.
sweet game to watch.
Tottenham, Bournemouth. 2-1 Bournemouth as well.
2-2.
Okay, and then the last game for the weekend: West Ham United, Newcastle. Oof. That one is difficult to call, but I know Newcastle is winning. So,
Newcastle without God on.
so
And Newcastle might likely bench Isaac because they have that final next week.
no, you don't want to bench him too much. 3-1, 3-1.
3-1 West Ham.
No, Newcastle. Why would I do that? I'm not silly. Okay, no, you're right. I'll do 2-1. No
Oh,
God.
wait.
West Ham, Newcastle.
West Ham, Newcastle.
Yes, like West Ham at home.
West Ham,
I
Newcastle.
go for that game sense. Okay, 2-1 Newcastle too.
I'll go for West Ham. I think I think West Ham. I'll say 1-1. Sorry, 1-1.
Okay, well, there you
Gonna
have
be a
it.
tight game.
There you have it, folks. You guys let us know what you think in the comments below. Let us know if Roy Keane was right that Bruno Fernandes is not a leader. Let us know if AFCON is not as big as the Euros, or Jamie Carragher was just over Sabi, or Mikel Obi and JJ Okocha overreacting. You guys let us know in the comment section below. And also, who do you think is going to win between Arsenal and Manchester United ahead of the game? Please press the like button, subscribe if you're new or yet to do so, and have a good week, people. Thank you. Peace.